When you're a teenager, every emotion is dialed up to 100. Peer pressure and societal expectations trap you in a box, and you're treated like a child, yet expected to act like an adult. You're supposed to have your entire life figured out by the time you turn 18, and—
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, you get it. Teenagers have it rough. We've all been there, or we're currently there. Life feels forever and big, and no one else could possibly understand what you're going through.
You're 16. You're not supposed to know the answers to anything.
Fortunately, the teens aren't entirely alone. Enter teen movies, especially teen movies geared toward teenage girls, capturing so many of the issues and emotions that teen girls find themselves experiencing, including romance, comedy, angst, friendship, awkwardness, anxiety, and desperately wanting life to be a little less complicated, preferably with a happy ending. Many of these movies tend to fall into 3 categories, or eras of the teen movie genre. We've dubbed them rom-com supremacy, the eternal icons, and my friends and I against the world. Here's our take on movies every teen girl should watch, and what makes each era so near and dear to our hearts. Of course, we have to start with the sometimes cheesy but totally quintessential teen movies that so many of us grew up watching from the 90s and 2000s.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if!
This era was big on making teen-focused adaptations of iconic stories, from Jane Austen novels to Shakespeare plays to Cinderella and beyond. These decades were full of stories of young women starting to embrace their femininity and their independence, strength, and intelligence, along with some pretty iconic soundtracks and hilarious quotes.
She doesn't even go here!
Welcome to Rom-Com Supremacy. When we hear the words teen movie, most people's minds immediately go to Mean Girls, and for good reason. We follow new girl Katie Heron as she's dropped into the complicated and strict social game called high school.
So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
We witness Katie navigating social circles and figuring out where she fits in. She makes a lot of mistakes along the way, losing herself and pushing away her most genuine friends.
You know I couldn't invite you. I had to pretend to be plastic.
Buddy, you're not pretending anymore. You're plastic. Cold, shiny, hard plastic.
In her desperation to feel included and acknowledged, she's ensnared by Queen Bee Regina George's power and leans into her own mean girl powers in an attempt to usurp her. Power is intoxicating no matter what age you are, and when you're a teenager who figures out how to play the social game sooner than others, you can suddenly manipulate those around you to further your own interests.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
In the end, though, after some pretty impactful events, including Regina George getting hit by a bus.
And that's how Regina George died. No, I'm totally kidding. But she did get hurt.
Our beloved characters can fall into social statuses that are better suited to their personalities and what they truly need in life. Underneath the hilarious and often exaggerated moments of Mean Girls lie so many deeply relatable moments that still resonate with teens today.
So, are we still in a fight?
Are you still an asshole?
I don't think so.
I guess we're okay.
Another popular and must-see teen movie is Clueless. The film follows iconic Cher Horowitz, who starts as a popular girly girl obsessed with fashion and relationships.
I'd like to see you have a little bit of direction.
I have direction.
Yeah, towards the mall.
By the time the credits roll, she is still a very feminine girl with feminine hobbies, but she has become more self-aware, mature, and ambitious.
I decided I needed a complete makeover. Except this time, I make over my soul.
Girls in teen movies can often be sorted into 2 categories: the odd one out, who learns to be more sexy and feminine, and the popular girl, who is already sexy, but usually mean. But Clueless proves that you can be feminine and strong, hot and ambitious. Clueless provides Cher, a teenage girl, with the opportunity to grow, learn, and make mistakes without losing her defining characteristics.
Cher, what are you doing?
I'm captain of the Pismo Beach Disaster Relief.
I don't think they need your skis.
Daddy, some people lost all their belongings.
Cher showed teenage girls' femininity itself wasn't the problem, and that you don't have to give up that part of yourself to be who you want. And of course, we can't go any further without mentioning the iconic 10 Things I Hate About You.
What did I miss?
The oppressive patriarchal values that dictate our education.
Good.
Teen movies don't always have to include some life-changing moment that flips a character's personality on its head. In this movie, each of the characters are still themselves by the end, but they've become more three-dimensional and human. We learn more about what motivates their actions, and they step out of the boxes we, the audience, have put them in. There's Kat Stratford, the tough and opinionated feminist who is mean, badass, and doesn't care what people think.
The only thing people know about me is that I'm scary.
But really, she is adhering to what people expect of her, hiding behind her tough exterior to avoid confronting her trauma and vulnerability.
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
Her sister Bianca appears to be a stereotypical and naive popular girl, but she can be just as independent and smart as her sister.
That's for making my day bleed. That's for my sister. And that's for me.
Her father and sister's overprotectiveness only pushes her to take control of her own life and actions.
It's not like I'm stupid enough to repeat your mistakes.
I guess I thought I was protecting you.
By not letting me experience anything for myself?
Patrick Verona, the bad boy with a heart of gold, is just like Kat, hiding his own sensitive side behind a cocky persona. Finally, there's Cameron James. Sure, he falls in love with Bianca immediately before he even meets her, but he isn't afraid to stand up for himself and call Bianca out.
You know, just because you're beautiful, that doesn't mean that you can treat people like they don't matter.
Being a teen girl can be tough, but finding awesome gifts for the people you care about doesn't have to be. Spark something uncommon this holiday season with incredible hand-picked gifts from Uncommon Goods. Finding fun, affordable gifts can make the holiday season so stressful, but Uncommon Goods makes it so easy to find awesome things that your friends and family will love, without spending forever scrolling sites and searching through stores, and without breaking the bank. We found so many great goodies on their site. Some of our favorites have been Binging with Babish's Eat What You Watch cookbook that's allowed us to start cooking so many tasty meals from some of our favorite films. And to keep track of those films as we've watched or rewatched them, we've been loving this 100 movie scratch-off bucket list. It's such a fun way to keep track of what we've seen and what we still want to watch. Both of these would make the perfect gift for the movie lover in your life. Uncommon Goods helps you support artists and small businesses and find high-quality, unique gifts for everyone, from kids to grandparents and everyone in between. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so make sure to start shopping early before they sell out this holiday season. And you can get a discount and support The Take. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/thetake. That's uncommongoods.com/thetake for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Now let's rewind the clock back to the spark of the teen movie boom for a moment. The 80s saw an explosion of media directed at teens that actually felt real and relatable, not set on telling teens how they should be, but instead digging into how complicated life actually is at that age. From John Hughes' Brat Pack movies and beyond, these films have managed to stand the test of time and continue to resonate even many decades later.
God, are we gonna be like our parents?
Not me.
But what makes these movies relevant today? We won't be the first to admit that the 80s were a different time.
What's happening, hot stuff?
But being a teenager, that remains very much the same. A classic, and arguably one of the best coming-of-age films of all time, is none other than The Breakfast Club. This 1985 movie focuses on a group of teenagers stuck in detention that, at first glance, couldn't possibly have anything in common.
Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay?
We're given the 5 stereotypes that hold up in fiction: the jock, the bad boy, the popular queen, the weird loner, and the nerd. The more time they spend with each other, though, the more they, and we, realize how much they have in common.
We were all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Society, parents, and the friends you find yourselves with very often force you into boxes, restricting any change or growth, no matter how much you wish for it. Of course, you could break free from the box, but at what cost? What if your friends judge and abandon you, leaving you more alone than you'd already felt?
I hate it. I hate having to go along with everything my friends say.
Then why do you do it?
I don't... You don't understand.
This coming-of-age film truly captures the pressure teenagers endure from all sides, and it shows how, despite how alone they may feel, the people sitting right next to them are probably going through the same thing.
You're laughing at me.
No!
Yeah, you are.
Now, if you're not in the mood for cliches or the relentless optimism of some teen movies, 1989's Heathers succeeds in taking a much more cynical, satirical, and dark approach to portraying the chaos and difficulties of adolescence.
I just killed my best friend.
And your worst enemy.
Same difference.
Because let's face it, being a teenager can be messy and certainly dramatic, with plenty of dark humor. The film shows how society tends to glamorize the worst of high school, particularly school violence and poor mental health. The protagonist, Veronica Sawyer, has solid morals that often get overshadowed by her initial desire for popularity, then her cynicism and toxic relationship with the sociopathic Jason J.D. Dean.
Well, you're not a rebel. You're psychotic.
She despises the three Heathers' unkindness towards others, as well as how her town and the people in it use horrible events to their selfish advantage. Veronica seeks to dismantle the oppressive hierarchy of high school, but ends up getting caught in a web of violence that only makes things much, much worse.
Dear Diary, my teen angst bull has a body count.
Heathers takes a dark turn away from the optimism of John Hughes films and instead exemplifies the unfortunate, unfiltered cruelty and looming figure of death that surrounds teenagers. Despite the dark themes, Heathers has plenty of hilarious moments.
All we want is to be treated like human beings, not to be experimented on like guinea pigs or patronized like bunny rabbits.
I don't patronize bunny rabbits.
And ultimately never makes sincere kindness into a joke, and Veronica choosing it in the end proves to be the most victorious action. There are plenty more eternal icons that every teen girl should watch, including Dirty Dancing, the perfect movie for a slumber party, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a fun flick to watch with your partner or even your parents.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Many of the more recent teen movies, while still often including themes of romance, tend to focus on the strong and vibrant friendships people make as teenagers. Our friends are really who help get us through the awkward and stressful years that make up our adolescence.
It's really just the hair. It's not that bad, you can just grow it out.
Are you even up there?
2023's Bottoms follows two unpopular high schoolers who start a fight club to meet girls and lose their virginity.
We're punching each other. Adrenaline is flowing. Next thing you know, Isabel and Brittany are kissing us on the mouth.
Probably not the most relatable scenario for all teens, but Bottoms takes a satirical and hilarious, and sometimes pretty violent approach to portraying the stereotypes and dynamics of high school, making us laugh and relate to what a strange time high school was. Everything about the movie is hyperbolic, from the high school staff.
Why don't you just ask one of the female teachers?
Thought about that, but we hate them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
To that final football game. Despite everything being exaggerated or turned into a joke, there are still some more realistic moments that teens can relate to, like the larger-than-life posters hyping up the jocks, letting a crush drive your everyday life.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to Brittany. I think that it's time.
Oh, really? It's time? There wasn't time in the last 11 years we've all been going to school together?
And making some pretty questionable decisions and mistakes that, in the end, teach you a lot. Booksmart is another film that follows two hilarious, unpopular best friends who realize they may have wasted their high school years.
We didn't party because we wanted to focus on school and get into good colleges. And it worked. But the irresponsible people who partied also got into those colleges. They did both.
If they can make it to one party, they can graduate having made the most of high school. Not only are the two main characters very funny with an excellent dynamic,
He definitely doesn't want me because I'm a butter personality.
How dare you say that about my best friend?
but each of the supporting characters offers something endearing, entertaining, and unique to the creative plot. Booksmart shows how important it is to make fun and friends one of your priorities, and how both are integral to your success, and let's be honest, sanity.
I just can't imagine my life without you.
This era also embraces the reality of being an unbearably awkward teen, because it is an awkward time. Teens find themselves suddenly facing a roller coaster of hormones and the strange liminal space between childhood and adulthood. In our opinion, few movies capture that awkwardness better than 2018's 8th Grade.
Most quiet, Andrew Fields and Kayla Day.
fair warning, this movie can be a little too relatable sometimes, especially for those who struggle to make friends and put themselves out there.
Maybe you just need to put yourself out there a little bit.
Please stop.
Director Bo Burnham perfectly captures the awkwardness of growing up and not quite fitting in with your peers. But our protagonist, Kayla, proves that her social awkwardness doesn't hinder her creativity or courage. Unlike many people, Kayla forces herself to step out of her comfort zone and stand up for herself, no matter how excruciating it can be.
You know, I used to be really quiet too.
Oh, that's what it is. He's a thinker.
Our hearts warm with pride when we watch her make the best of any situation, but we still hope things get easier and hopefully less awkward for her in high school.
You know, you never know what's gonna happen next, and that's what makes things exciting and scary.
Teen movies are often regarded as cheesy and cliche, and to be fair, a lot of them are. But for some of them, that's what makes them so beloved. Teens appreciate having a happy ending for people just like them. They appreciate being represented on screen when they feel like no one really gets them.
And the thing is I really don't care what people think about me, because I believe in myself. And I know that things are gonna be okay.
And importantly, many creators of teen movies aren't afraid to be transparent about the dark side of adolescence, because it isn't always happy endings.
Veronica, you look like hell. Yeah, I just got back.
Teen movies are a timeless genre because adolescence will always be a complicated and interesting time for every generation. Fortunately, we can count on movies to be there for us and to understand us, even if it feels like maybe no one else does. There are so many iconic teen movies that we didn't have time to mention in this video. If we missed your favorite, let us know what it is in the comments so that we can make sure to include it in part 2. That's the take. Click here to watch a video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And make sure to subscribe to our Patreon for exclusive new videos.